This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its forms. And right now, we are talking with, don't tell me, Chiraag. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did, Coach.
Good. And his mom, whom I simply call Mom, because I can't pronounce her name and I don't want to make her mad at me. Okay, so she's Mom and he's Chiraag. All right, now where are we? Where's where we are? In around April, his mom or dad contacted me, and they live in India, and both parents are doctors. That's very interesting. I've helped many doctors, and matter of fact, the last Stop Stuttering story I got is from a neurologist who has a neurology clinic in India. And he loves our methods. And he's agreed to join me as co-author of a book, Guide to Speech Therapists to Help Stutterers.
Yeah.
So he's helping me with that. So doctors' opinions matter more than most opinions. So yeah. I have extra reasons for wanting, I want everybody to stop stuttering, but I have extra reasons with a medical doctor, anybody that's involved with medicine, because when they say, yeah, this method works, it helps the program. And the program is what's going to save these people, not me, not I. It's the program. So that's what's important. So it's very important that to us, as well as to you guys, that we get a handle on this sooner than later. So in any event, Chiraag started stuttering at age 9 to about a third of his conversations, according to his questionnaire, and about a third of the words being stuttered were repeats and body contortions, and then some blocks, forced words, and silences. And sometimes 40% of words or so. These are approximations, they vary. He's had a number of therapies, abdominal exercises, pausing, loud reading, none helped. They'll probably all help some, but not enough to beat it. And our methods will beat it if he'll do it, to the extent that he can do it and will do it. He can do it. There's very few people, less than 5%, in my opinion, cannot use our methods. And there are various reasons why not. But the rest of the people can. Now, how long it takes them is another story. That's a function of what they do, how much they do it, and how determined they are to beat it. All it is change. You know, our whole program amounts to moving your mind's focus this much, Chiraag, not this much, this much. When you move your focus this much off stuttering, you'll never stutter again as long as you live. And every method that we have has been used by somebody to move it enough to stop stuttering. So that's why we have them as methods, because they've worked. So you say, well, they haven't worked for me yet. Well, okay, you haven't done them quite right, frankly, because you're not the problem, but the way you use them, the way you get your mind focused, that is the problem. And so retraining your mind to focus on something else. I mean, if you've had a bad experience with food, like when I was very young, the first time I tasted asparagus, I hated it. And my mother made me eat it. And that built into me a resistance to asparagus that to this day, the smell of it, the taste of it, I don't want to even be in a room with it. It's so disgusting. I trained myself inadvertently to hate stuttering and to hate asparagus. Similarly, with stuttering, when I stuttered and people laughed at me, I was humiliated. And the more humiliated I was, the more I stuttered. And it was a snowball. And finally, in certain situations, I couldn't say anything. And that's the way that got. But in some situations, I was just fine. I was a singer. I never stuttered when I sung, for example. In any event, our program, in truth, if you can move your mind this far, it's not that hard to beat it. It really isn't. There is nothing there. The only reason you stutter is because you have a habit of stuttering. It's like you're driving a car, and in the back seat, there's this demon stuttering. And he reaches over your shoulders and tries to get the steering wheel away from you. The minute you get in the car, what he does is, while you're starting the engine, he takes the wheel. And then he's steering, he begins. And if he doesn't take the wheel, that's when you're comfortable. You're talking to your dog. You're talking alone in the shower. You're talking to maybe a family member where you have no fear and you're fluent. Great. But the minute, it's a stranger, an authority, a group, a phone, blah, 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 you shut down. And the more you shut down in that area, the more you shut down. And it's a deep well, and you keep digging it until you start coming out of that well. And then look, once you're out of the well, you wonder, whatever happened? There was no reason for it ever. There's no organic reason. Your mother's a doctor, and she knows this is true. There is no organic reason for you to stutter. There's nothing physically wrong with you, period. Now, they've done mind scans, and they said, oh, stutterers have neuron connections that are different from other people, and they cause problems. Well, sure they do. If every time you do something, it hurts, you develop your mind gets smarter, and it develops connections real fast to keep you away from there. So it develops connections, but the minute you stop stuttering, not the minute, here's stuttering and here's fluency, the minute you stop stuttering, you'll be increasing what you do with fluency. You're increasing it. And after a while, the stutter habit is gone. Totally, as if you never had it. It's just a habit. But to beat it, you must not start, when you start talking, in whatever situations you stutter, on the phone, whatever, wherever they are, when you start talking, when you're in those situations, you cannot talk without focusing hard on your speech plan and a crutch if you need it. You may not need a crutch if you're thinking your speech plan, but maybe you need it on the first word. That's all. That's all. We've talked a handful of times, maybe 6, I don't know. And on June 4th, you started, the first time I ever heard from your parents was April 15th. On June 4th, you couldn't remember your last bad incident. And you could say any individual words. That is what you told me on that day. And you said that you didn't think you were planning words with me at that time. That was June 4th. And you weren't even feeling pressure. And you felt like you were loving to speak 60% of the time. You did have some trouble starting conversations with strangers. This is not a crime. And let me tell you something, Chiraag. Every normal human being, every one of them, at some point in their early life, they've had problems talking to strangers. They may never have stuttered, but they've had problems. So you're not alone. You're not a freak. There's nothing wrong with you, mentally or physically, nothing. You just got into a bad habit. You stepped into a chuck hole and it hurt. So then you avoid that chuck hole. And the way you avoid it is you don't speak. And that's your solution. It's not a good one, but it's your solution. It could be a migraine headache or an ulcer or a rash, or maybe simply avoidance. You don't talk. You shut up. There are a lot of people who don't stutter who use other methods to avoid feeling concerns with strangers. But here's the secret. You've got nothing to fear from most strangers. Now, it's true, if you're in a city you don't know on a dark night and you can't see anything and you're in a bad part of town and you don't go down an alley that you can't see anything and there's some strange looking ruffians along the walls, you don't do that. You don't beg for problems. You can find problems, but on the whole, when you do what you're supposed to do, you go to school, you stick at home, you go to normal places. You have nothing to fear. Most people are not out for you. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want you to hurt them. So it's a mutual concern, and it's a mutual opportunity to help people. So, okay. So in any event, that's what you told me when we met in June. Now, and then you were sending your Stop Stuttering story in August. Did you send it to me? I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, we did, coach.
You did.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thank you. You know why? Because it helps other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm helping you, because I want to help you.
Yeah.
Because I hate stuttering.
Mm-hmm.
So you're helping other people and you're also helping yourself, because you need to claim the positive turf that you've earned, the degree to which you're fluent that you've earned. You need to claim it. And you need to keep claiming it. You need to claim it until you're your mother's age. And then you need to claim it until you're my age. You've got to keep claiming it. There is no reason, Chiraag, that you can't be a better, here's a stutterer and here's the normal person. You're right here now. There's no reason you can't go down here and be the best speaker you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got people. How old are you now?
I'm now 14.
14. I got one guy who came to me at age 12 from Florida. His name is Zach, and he comes to SAM meetings sometimes. He's now 15. He beat stuttering in about 6 months, and he's now in school plays. He's actually doing lines in school plays. Don't you love that?
Mm-hmm.
I used to think, oh, Nick, I could never do a line in a play because their words are fixed. I'd never be able to say those words. And he's doing that now. And he goes, I think he's done Toastmasters. So the way you keep getting better, Chiraag, it's like weightlifting. If you're comfortable curling 10 pounds today, you try and curl 11 or 12 pounds. And when you're comfortable doing that, you try and curl 15, and you keep going up. Same thing with your speech. Wherever you're comfortable, you want to go to the next level up and talk. You're a little nervous. Fine. Just remember, it's not a crime to be nervous. Fear is not stuttering. Most fluent people have fears when they're exposed. The same places you have fear, most fluent speakers at your age have a similar concern. There are some people that don't. That's fine. Good for them. But most people do. So you get a lot of company here. That doesn't mean you have to do it. You don't. You can be the person you know that who's the most outgoing, most vocal, vibrant, exciting, positive, enthusiastic, cheerful person. You can be that person. It's a decision you make in here to be that person. Look, in the front of all my books, the most important words in my books are not my words. They are the words of the psychiatrist, Frank S. Caprio. And what did he say? Say after me. We have free choice.
We have free choice
To accept or reject thoughts.
to accept or reject thoughts.
Nothing compels us to think anything.
Nothing compels us to think anything.
Except our own desires.
Except our own desires.
So use your mental switch.
So use your mental switch.
And dictate your thoughts.
And dictate your thoughts.
And dictate your thoughts.
And dictate your thoughts.
Believe that you can improve.
Believe that you can improve.
And you will.
And you will.
Do you believe that, Chiraag?
Yes, I do.
I've never had anybody tell me they didn't believe it. And it's true. Your life is between your ears.
Mm-hmm.
Your life is how you made it, but most importantly, it's how you think you made it.
Uh-huh.
Now you say, well, I know I'm not making it good. I'm not a good enough cricket player or football player or reader or algebra student or whatever. Everybody has those same thoughts. And the thing about it is, Chirag, your goal is not to be the best in the world. Your goal is to be, because that's unreasonable. You're not going to grow wings and be an eagle either.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is not to be the best in the world. Your goal is to be the best you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you something. You can be as good or better than most people you know at most anything. When you're the best at when you're your best, you will be among the best you know in most things all your life. What do you think about that, Chirag?
I think that's true.
So the bottom line is Chirag doing his best? It's a yes or no question. And I mean in everything, schoolwork, mowing the lawn, helping your sister do the dishes after dinner, um, learning algebra, whatever it is. Um, and it's a hard thing to do your best because it takes discipline and effort all the time. And but the thing about it is, the more we put into life, the more we get out of it.
Mm.
The more you help yourself, the more you're capable of helping others.
Mm-hmm.
The more you help others, the better person you are, and the more pride you'll have in yourself.
Mm.
You can't have a good opinion of yourself unless you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing pretty much the best you can do,
Yeah.
and being a loving person.
Mm-hmm.
Love is the most healing, calming emotion of mankind. It's we have we really have two things that distinguish us from creatures. One, we can speak. Only we can speak. And two, we can love and we can understand it. And when we love and understand it, our lives become different places. And life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. You create yourself by what you do. What you do is determined by what you say. And what you say is determined by what you think. So the answers come back to your brain, your mind, and that's what you got to control in all aspects of your life. You want to be you want to be an adult, a man, whatever. The more control you have over your thinking, the more mature and better person you are. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. So we were last time we talked was August 8th. No, that wasn't. We talked one other time. On August 8th, though, we said you couldn't remember your last bad incident and you were working on crutch 11, speaking like a king or a prince in your case. You're too young to be a king, so you'd be a prince. Speaking like a prince, and you were working on that. Can you tell me what are the elements of speaking like a prince? What do you have to do?
I was, coach, I was actually not doing crutch 11. I was actually more working on the crutch 4. I think it's pronunciation, crutch.
That's 9, but go ahead.
9, sorry. So yeah, I was using that more than crutch 11
All right.
because I feel like that's easier for me to do it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I feel like that helps me more than crutch 11.
Okay. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing what you just said. That's fine. Why is that? Because different crutches and or speech plans, crutches attack individual words for the most part. Speech plans attack conversations. The different, there's nothing wrong with focusing on pronunciation or smiling or thinking say it like you mean it, or any other individual thing. You focus on the one that resonates most for you, that's easiest for you to use. That's why we have multiple choices. You know, and if pronunciation stopped helping you in a week or a month, I'm not saying it will or should, but if it did, you can work on something else. Smiling, simply smiling, has cured stuttering for some people. And we got that crutch from a guy in Indonesia named Dimas Akta. I put his name in my book because I got his permission to do it. And he said, look, I beat it doing one thing, smiling. All he had to do, Chiraag, say something to me and smile while you say it. Say anything. I don't care what it is. Smile.
Hi, my name is Chiraag. I'm from India. And right now I'm age 14 and I'm in 9th grade.
And are you happy? Are you happy that you're in this program?
Yes, I am.
And is it helping you a lot?
Yes, it is. Yes, the program is helping me a lot.
Wonderful. And do you enjoy smiling?
Yes.
And don't you think it makes you more likable by others?
Yes, it does.
And don't you want to be likable?
Yeah.
And don't you want to spread joy where you go?
Yes, I do.
Then just smile as much as you can, man. Keep a smile on your face. Be the light that comes in a room. So they say, hey, here comes Chiraag. Everything's going to be okay. Because Chiraag always thinks it is. In the worst circumstances, you can look at the glass of life for most people, most of the time, is half full. And there are two ways roughly, and there are two ways you can look at it, Chiraag. Oh, my glass is half empty, boo-hoo-hoo. Or I can look at it like, oh, my glass is half full already. Wow. Now I'm going to do some good stuff and fill it up some more. The more good you do, the more good comes to you. It may be circumlocutive, it may go around a bit, but in the long run, that's what happens. People, you know who the person I pity the most on the planet is? Putin, because he's involved in hurting people, thousands of people, for no reason whatsoever. He wants their resources. He wants their oil or whatever it is they got going there. He wants to steal it. And you're never going to get ahead stealing. Not long term, not long term. And the people who try it end up buried usually. Usually, that's where they end up. But that's their problem. You can't solve all those problems, and I can't either. The only problem I can solve is Lee Lovett's problems. Sort of. I can solve most of them, and maybe not today, but I can solve them over time. And you can solve Chiraag's problems. And part of growing up is to realize that your problems are yours uniquely. And always remember this: no man, woman, or child can give you happiness. And no man, woman, or child can take it from you. It's yours to have, but you've got to earn it. And if you're doing the wrong things, if you're hurting people, if you're taking drugs, if you're being a lazy bum, you're in a downward slope. Okay, so all right, so now it's now December 3rd. Let's get current. You can't remember your last incident where you humiliated yourself by stuttering. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And before you speak, well, let me ask you this. What situations, everybody feels under, every human being, in my opinion, feels under pressure in some speaking situations, in some, maybe very small, but I think everyone. Mom, would you agree with that?
Yes, coach.
Okay, so it's not like it's unique to you. It's everybody has this problem. So, but it's a question of degree.
Mhm.
And I would have to tell you that I don't think anymore. I think I'm the exception now that proves the rule. I don't think I feel pressure about speaking anywhere because I've kind of made it my business to speak under pressure. So I do it. I've done it all my life and under huge audiences. I've been on radio live, I've been on TV live, and I've talked many places to big groups, hundreds and even thousands of people. And at this point, I'm an old guy with white hair and all that stuff. And I'm just nothing, it doesn't frighten me anymore. I truly love to speak, and I love to speak anywhere. And the greater the pressure, the more I like it. And I've taught myself that. And I want you to teach yourself that. I want you to not only not be upset or concerned about pressure, but view it as an opportunity. The Chinese symbol for crisis is the same as the symbol for opportunity. Crisis equals opportunity. Opportunity equals often crisis. Every time you speak when you feel pressure, that's an opportunity. For what? For you to improve the way you speak under pressure, and therefore to elevate. We want you to run to pressure. We want you to be, in due course, volunteering to be master of ceremonies at the school function where the entire student body is there, and you're introducing yourself and everybody on the stage. How about that? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it would.
To do it?
Yes.
And you might be thinking pronunciation. You might also be thinking, I will say it like I mean it.
Mhm.
Say that to me. Say what I just said.
I will say it like I mean it.
Can you say it and put as much in it as you can? Try it again.
Yeah. I can say it like I mean it.
And I will enjoy it.
And I will enjoy it.
It's fun.
It's fun.
There is nothing to fear.
There is nothing to fear
But fear itself.
but fear itself.
You know who said that? A long deceased president of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Many people have said similar things. There is nothing to fear but fear. And fear is not stuttering. When you speak to a crowd or a big audience, you have nothing to fear. You're going to do well. The only question is, how well are you going to do? Are you going to do your very best? The best of which you are capable, which gets better all the time. Your ability to be a good speaker keeps getting better, and your risk of a problem keeps, when this goes up, fluency, this thing goes down, the fear goes down. And you keep going until you love to speak. Now, are you thinking, and it's not a crime to answer yes, and don't ever fail to tell me the truth, because I can't help you if I don't know what hurts, I don't know what to tell you. I got to know what the negatives as well as the positives. So, thinking, planning words. When I'm speaking in front of a big crowd, I don't think about my words first. I think message, thought, and secondly, how can I say it in a way that will make it most memorable for the listener? That's what I think. Now, what do you think when you're speaking under pressure?
When I'm speaking under pressure, the first thing I think about is like the topic I'm talking about. And then I think about how can I convey the message I'm trying to say to the audience.
Okay. How to say it in a compelling, interesting, exciting, entertaining, memorable way. How about that?
Yeah.
Exciting, memorable. You want to be understood, so you can't talk like a machine. Most people your age talk too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Even your mom's age, most people talk too fast.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to, if you want to be eloquent, you must slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, your stops need to be longer. When you speak, stop. Every time, stop. You complete an increment of words, stop. You stop, stop. To give the listener, stop. A chance, stop. To understand, stop. What you say, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Example, let's take a poem, which is also a song, and break it into short increments. Short increments and long stops make for great speech. Say after me,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm worried
When I'm worried
and I can't sleep,
and I can't sleep,
I count my blessings
I count my blessings
instead of sheep,
instead of sheep,
and I fall asleep
and I fall asleep
counting my blessings.
counting my blessings.
A great singer in America, country western singer, is named Willie Nelson. And he said years ago, when I started counting my blessings, my entire life turned around. What do you think about that, Chiraag?
Yeah, I think that is true.
When you have trouble going to sleep, and everybody does sometimes, this song says, when I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. When is the last time you counted your blessings? You remember?
Wait, the last time I properly counted, like I counted the blessings, like I think before I go to sleep, so that I can go to sleep.
Okay.
I have trouble sleeping sometimes.
And so when was that? Do you remember roughly a month, 2 months, a week, a day, 6 months? What was it?
That was like a week ago.
Okay. So when you're feeling down, when you're feeling blue, when you feel like you're not as happy as you should be, count your blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Will you do that?
Yes.
Because look, you are responsible for maintaining a happy attitude
Mm-hmm.
about yourself and your life. You're not perfect. You'll never be exactly what you want to be. No one is. You're one of us. But when you become the best you can be, I guarantee you're going to like your life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in everything, it isn't just speech. This is a holistic program. Holistic means we address all of the parts of the problem, the whole being. Stuttering is an effect, it's a symptom, it's not a cause. It's not organic, it's not genetic. Most of our stutterers have no other stutterers in their family. I came from a family of orators. My grandfather was a judge. My father was president of his bar association. My mother was president of every association she was ever in. My aunt was an actress on the stage, well known in the 20s. She lived to be almost 100. She could speak she did Shakespeare everywhere. She was about 5 feet tall, and she had a chest cavity you wouldn't believe. She could project her voice to the last row in huge stadium without a mic because they didn't have mics in those days. And my little aunt could do all that. They were all orators. My brother had like a genius IQ, and he was president of this thing and that. And then I was stuttering. What? What was that? That made no sense. So stuttering isn't genetic. It's not chronic either. It's not chronic. And it's not organic, it's not genetic, and it's not chronic. You've already proved that. The only question in my mind is, will you stay in the program long enough to really learn to love to speak everywhere? I want you, when you go to class, I want you to want to raise your hand. When there's a chance to get up on the stage, I want you to be pawing at the dirt like a bull ready to charge, trying to get on the stage yourself and talk, because you can do it. If you will focus on pronunciation or how to say it or smiling, you can be right now, today, you can be the best speaker you know. Don't put any limits on yourself. But again, the goal is not to beat other people. It's to be the best you can be. Don't worry about where you rank. Worry about, are you doing your best? What can you do to improve your best? Crutch 11 says, speak slowly. It says, think pronunciation. It says, think message. How can you say it like you mean it, Chiraag? And smile. Can you project joy? And lastly, stop. Will you stop 1001 long enough, 1001, to allow the listener, 1001, to hear 1001 and understand 1001 and remember 1001, 1002, 1003, what you say? Now I will speak without saying 1001, but I will stop for 1 second, which is 1001. And sometimes, Chiraag, I will stop for 2 seconds, 1001, 1002, or even 3 seconds, 1001, 1002, 1003. Now, Chiraag, if I lose the speech floor, if someone else interrupts me and starts talking, I don't care. I will get the speech floor back. And when I do, Chiraag, I will make better use of it than most people you know. What do you think about that, Chiraag?
I think that is something I should do.
You can do this, Chiraag, but like everything else in life, it takes practice. It takes determination, and you got to finish the program. Your goal is to love to speak everywhere and to speak like a prince. Now, that means you'll probably have to speak better than people in your family do because they're not working on this program. They don't have the advantage of this program. You do. So you may be better. You'll probably be the best speaker in your family before you know it. Crutch 11, slowly, pronunciation. Say it like you mean it. Smile and stop. 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 Stops give you a break.
Mm-hmm.
Stops give the listener a break.
Mm-hmm.
Stops make what you say memorable. You want to bring joy to the conversation with your smile. And you want to bring clarity by pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make it compelling by the way you say it. And you want to spread the joy, and you want to stop. Give people a break. Let them think. Let them understand. Let it soak in. Make it memorable, Chiraag,
Yes.
because you can do it. Why shouldn't you? It costs you nothing but some thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. Now, planning words. The minute you plan a word before you say it, stop. Don't plan words. Think thoughts. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Not words.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is way ahead of you. It will pick all the words you need. Increase your vocabulary, fine. And your brain, the more words you give it, the better your brain resources will have. But once you implant the words, leave your brain alone. You don't need to tell your brain when to breathe, do you?
No.
And you don't need to tell it what words to say, do you?
No.
And you're going to resist when your brain starts picking words. You're going to stop talking and start again and be spontaneous. Crutch 13 says, no crutch at all. It says, speak before you have time to think any words.
Hmm.
Now, in your stuttering days, you couldn't do that because the stutter guy, the minute you approach the situation of speaking, he grabbed the wheel. But he's not doing that anymore because you've trained yourself to grab the wheel. So he's in the back seat, and it's just a question. He may be out of the car by now. If he isn't, he's close to it. He's close to gone. Now, what opportunities can you create to improve your speech? How are you going to keep making your speech better so that you can love to speak under pressure?
I think I should talk more, and I should talk in situations where I feel pressured, so that over like a period of time, I will stop feeling pressure in those situations.
Good. Mom, do you have any suggestions for Chiraag or any questions from me?
No, coach. But he has to decrease his speed actually.
Decrease his speed?
Yeah.
Okay. But that is the common
Yeah.
problem of all people his age. And so that's okay. Do you know what a metronome is? Like they put it on a piano and it goes back and forth, tick, tock, and they set the speed to show the pianist what the beat is. Have you ever seen a metronome?
Mhm. No, I haven't.
You need to think in terms of a metronome. When I speak, I will keep control of my speed.
Mhm.
So that's another thought. But the first word of crutch 11 is slowly. You see, I had slowly is the first word in that list. And then it says pronunciation, and then it says message, and then it says smile, and then it says stop. And that's your program. Now, you could write that on a piece of paper like this, and you could carry it around. You could put it by your computer. You could put it on the back of your phone. You could put it under the cover. Um, if you really want to get good, why shouldn't you? You're in the program. Look, I can say I converted stuttering into a blessing in my life. And don't settle for anything less, because this crisis, it used to be, you're converting into a blessing, into an opportunity to not only not do that thing, stuttering, but to be much better than you otherwise would ever have been. And also, when you use mind training, I still do mind training every day. I haven't done it for speech for 50 years. I don't need it for speech. I attack things like anxiety and anger and love. When I'm loving, I'm happy, I say. When I'm loving, I'm happy. When I'm loving, I'm happy. Because when I'm loving, I am happy. And when I'm not loving, I'm not happy. And I say, I'll laugh at my anger in all its forms. I laugh at my anger in all its forms. You know something, Chiraag? It takes two people to have a fight. One person cannot fight. Somebody can be very mad at you, scream at you, blame you for this or that, whether they're right or they're wrong. When you don't allow yourself to get angry, all of the anger goes out of them fast. They can't be angry at someone who won't be angry back. All of my life, I've wanted to get mad, not necessarily at other people, but maybe at things or situations, or I dropped my coffee cup and spilled it all over the floor. I can get mad or I can laugh. You know what I do now? I laugh and then I clean it up, because laughter saves us from insanity. Voltaire said that, the great French philosopher. It said, laugh and make laugh. Laugh. I laugh at my anger in all its forms. Don't allow yourself to get angry, Chiraag. It's a zero-sum game. I can promise you this. Every time I've been angry in my life, I have hurt someone or something, and always I've hurt myself. I think it was Mahatma Gandhi who said, we are not punished for our anger. We are punished by our anger. Do you want to be punished?
No.
Then don't get angry. Because when you get angry, you're going to punish yourself. And you're going to punish some other things too. People maybe, but you're going to suffer. It's not only a zero-sum game, it's a negative-sum game. You go backwards every time you're angry, and so do I. And so does everybody you know. Anger is a very negative thing that you really can't allow in your life. Make it a game, Chiraag. Make it a game. When anger erupts around you, start smiling. Try and look at the humor in it. If you have to go silent or leave the room, do it. If you can deal with it in a positive, happy way, do it. Don't make it a game, Chiraag. Remember, this game is Chiraag versus Chiraag. When Chiraag masters Chiraag, he wins the game of life. Part of mastery is not to allow yourself to get angry. Another part of it is to be as loving as you can. Well, if you're loving, you're not going to be mean to people, even when they're mad. And they may have good reason to be mad. That doesn't mean they should be mad. But you know what mad means in the dictionary? Insane. So no, it means hot-tempered. Well, it does. But it also means insane. Legally, it's a defense from crimes. They say, oh, he was mad. He was insane temporarily when he did this thing. He's not normally like that, so don't punish him, or not as much. It's a defense in a courtroom. I practiced law for decades. It's a defense. They actually use that defense. Mad, insanity. Do you want to be insane? Do you want to be insane?
No.
And then you don't want to be mad either, then, do you?
Yeah.
It's a loser. It's a loser. So you got to control. You got to control that. Now that's part of our program. It's part of the holistic thing here. Stuttering is a symptom. It's an effect. It's, there's nothing there. It just happened because we did some other things that weren't right. We got nervous about other people's opinions. Chiraag, you can't control other people's opinions. Don't even bother to try. You got to control your conduct and let other people's opinions go where they will. In time, they're going to, at worst, they're going to have a positive view of you.
Mm-hmm.
They will. When you conduct yourself the way, and look, every one of us has a conscience, a little, a birdie, or some people can say it's God, whatever. It's in the back of their mind that tells them what's the right thing to do. Don't you think that most of the time when you have a decision to make, you know the right thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
And don't you further agree that sometimes, even though you know the right thing, you don't do it, you do the wrong thing? Don't you do that sometimes?
Yeah.
We all do. And every time we do the wrong thing, we start down the slippery slope. And the degree of the slope is dependent upon what the thing is. If it's, oh, I'll have an extra piece of pie, maybe the slope's like this. If it's, I'm going to hurt somebody, we got a slope like this. So how steep the slope is depends upon what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But doing the right thing, look, all life is discipline. You want people, you want to be happy, you got to respect yourself. And you can't respect yourself if you're doing the wrong thing. You can't do it. It'll never work. You'll always struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do the right thing. Say, but it takes so much discipline. I mean, even getting up at the right time in the morning takes discipline. But we all have to do it. Your parents do it. You got to do it. Your friends do it. Your teachers do it. Everybody you know they have certain responsibilities because you got to take care of yourself eventually, and you got to take care of the people who depend on you. So there you have it. Mom, what do you got to say? You want to jump in here and help us out?
No, nothing. It was a very good session.
Okay. So Chiraag, I think pronunciation is great. I think thinking you mean it is great. I think smiling is great. They're all tools that you can grab. Oh, I'm going to smile my way through this conversation. I'm going to say it like I mean it. I really do so much.
Mm-hmm.
Look, again, if you want to get strong, you got to go to the gym and curl the weights. What you can handle plus a little bit. And that's the way you get strong. So with public speaking, like your mom said, you speak too fast, and she's right. And you got to slow down. She could probably slow down herself. I haven't listened to her a lot, and probably your dad could too. Do you have any siblings?
No.
Okay, so it's the three of you. So make it a game. Who can speak in the most compelling, interesting, convincing, and enjoyable way, pleasant way? Who can do that? I mean, can everybody do their best? You do yours, your mom, your dad, everybody does. And make it a game. You don't have to be like, it's okay to be different. And your speech can be different.
Mm-hmm.
And people who get really good at things, they're different. And when you work at something, you're going to be different. You're going to set the pace, not follow it. when you do the best you can do, you become an exemplar for others. And that's not your goal. Your goal is to be the best you can be. Let it be what it is. But you can do this. Do you think it's fun to have these goals?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So that's important. Listen, it's great seeing you again. And Chiraag, I'm really happy with your progress, but there's no limit to how good you can be. No limit. The sky is the limit. My mother used to say, shoot for the moon, and you'll at least end up on the roof. So shoot for the moon, Chiraag. Get that speech club going at school and be the leader of it and have fun with it. And then write me, have you and your mom write me about it and tell me how great it was, because it'll help a lot of other people that you'll never know. Stuttering. Okay, is it a deal?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you in a few months when your mom writes me for the next appointment. Bless you.
Bye.
Happy day. Happy day.